most important thing in business is honesty, integrity, hard work, family, never forgetting where we came from.
Welcome to the Network Show. I'm your host, Lawrence Wingate.
And I'm your host, Nancy White. And today we have the amazing woman, Kim Jacobs, and she is the Balance Doctor. Welcome so much, Kim. We're so grateful for you to be here.
Thank you.
And this is so much fun because you are usually the one that is interviewing other people, and today we have the privilege to be able to find out what's going on behind the scenes with Kim.
That's so funny because I'm actually not used to being in this seat. I'm used to being in one of your seats. Right. So it's truly an honor to be a guest on your show, and so thank you both so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
It's an honor to have you.
So Kim, thinking back, because you and I have known each other for about 13 years.
Literally.
And you've done a lot of different things over the years. And so, but when you just stop just for a few minutes and you reflect back over your journey, what was it that brought you into entrepreneurship? And also, was there anybody that was in your past that was an example to you? Or was this just something you just thought, I'm just going to start this and learn as I go?
Well, very interesting question. So when I was a teenager, I literally used to mute the television and I would read the closed captioning to Phil Donahue and Oprah Winfrey. And so I would just I would go all in, Lawrence. And Nancy, seriously, I would go all in. Yeah. I mean, I would imitate everything that Oprah was saying. Okay. And I would go in this path of, coming to the stage next is my friend Gail. I acted like I was straight Oprah. and I read everything that was on the closed captioning. And so that motivated me because I really believed that I could have my own talk show one day. That was my dream. I was like, I want to be a television talk show host. Okay. And fast forwarding, I would ask God, how am I going to ever do this if I, don't impact the masses? Mm-hmm. So I started looking at things that could help me impact the masses, and went into pharmaceutical sales. And I was like, okay, this is just me impacting some doctors and some patients, which I felt like I was making a difference, but not impacting the masses. Mm-hmm. And one day I met Les Brown.
Okay.
He came to speak at one of our national conferences when I was in the pharmaceutical industry. And literally, when he finished, my husband and I were in the parking lot talking to him, and he said, why don't you come with me? I can tell you a little bit about this whole public speaking world. Mm-hmm. And my husband, unbeknownst to me, decided to allow me to jump in the car with Les Brown. And I drove off with him and his team. And from there, the rest was history.
Wow.
The doors started opening.
Big time.
Right place, right time?
Yes.
So as you watching Oprah and Phil Donahue, when was that moment you said, you know what, this is it. This is what I want to do?
Well, I literally thought that's what I wanted to do when it was happening and I was practicing. Mm-hmm. But I didn't know the process, the steps to make that happen. And along the way, I was a news reporter. Mm-hmm. I did everything that I thought would kind of lead me to that path, but it still never led to that path. And I was like, okay, back to the drawing board. And when is this going to officially happen for me? So my thing to anyone is be patient and know that even baby steps matter. And I'm really big on teaching people that baby steps do matter, because along the way, the timing just wasn't right at those particular times in my life. And maybe even when I did ultimately become a talk show host on PBS and the Word Network, I literally realized that I wouldn't have even had those things to talk about at those younger phases of my life when I became Daily Balance with Kim Jacobs.
Yes.
Well, what would I have been balancing at that time? I had 5 children and so forth when I started really doing the show.
Juggling with Kim.
Right. Yeah, juggling with Kim.
I know, and I think I remember one of the times that at one of the E-Women groups, and Sandra Yancey was there, and you came in and you joined our group.
Oh,
yes. I remember that day so clearly.
It was you. We were in the same group.
We were in the same group.
I love being in your group, by the way. Anything to do with Nancy, I want to be a part of it, Lawrence. I'm not even exaggerating. Anybody that's watching this, and I know I'm not interviewing you right now, But Nancy is just a beautiful spirit. So if you get the opportunity even to connect with her through the airways, your life is going to be changed forever. And I'm sure you're just as great too, since you're connected to Nancy.
I am very grateful for Nancy.
Well, that's
But I'm not
fantastic.
interviewing, so
No,
let me be
okay.
interviewed. Be quiet, Kimra. Go ahead.
No. So I remember that when you came in and Sandra was asking the group, she said, ask for what you want.
Yes.
And what was it that you sort of were hesitant about asking about that day?
That day, I was in the group with you and about 7 other people. We were holding hands in a very calm, serene situation. And we were talking about what is that thing that I need now that would be the thing that would change my life forever. And I just put my dream out there. And I put it out into the atmosphere. And I said, I would like to be a international television talk show with my own show in front of a studio audience. I mean, I went all in. I took my whole minute. The bell had to ring on me. But I told them every detail. And in that circle, one young lady, I'll never forget her, she said, you know what, I have an opportunity for you. And I said, okay, what does that look like? She asked me to come meet her in a studio, an empty studio. And I was like, okay, well, where am I going? It was an old abandoned building. And I went to meet her. She had about 25 people there. Lights, camera, one chair in the center with a spotlight dangling down. And she said, I want you to sit in this chair. And this is from eWomen Network.
Yeah.
You remember this?
I do.
And I'm sitting there, and in this single chair, she said, I want you to act like it's your 100th show. Don't act like it's your first time. And so I got in the chair. I said, girl, you've been preparing for this your whole life.
Yeah.
25 people sitting there. They're looking for a talent. I was looking for a show.
Yeah.
And so I get there. I said, hi, I'm Kim Jacobs, and welcome to Daily Balance with Kim Jacobs. Today we have a great lineup for you. And I went on to introduce my guests. Do you know that crew and that eWomen woman person officially helped me launch Daily Balance with Kim Jacobs?
I remember that. I remember it just gives me chills because it was one of those things that you were a little bit hesitant about asking for.
I was.
And that is such a powerful message to give everybody. We need to ask.
And I even stopped. Stopped midstream. I was like, no, this is not the right setting for me to put this particular large dream out there in this group setting. But by me asking, that was the old Jim and Tammy Faye Baker studio. In Fort Mill, in South Carolina. That's where I went and auditioned, and that's where I filmed my show for 3 seasons on PBS at that studio. At the old Jim and Tammy Faye Baker studio, thanks to eWomen Network. And then Sandra, guess what she did?
She was the one that was trying to connect you with.
You know my life story. Yes.
Keep on.
Yes. No. Ask me a question first. Look. Okay. Look. Ask me a question first.
Okay.
Let me tell you how to interview me. Right?
Who was it that Sandra connected you with? Kim?
I'm so sorry.
That's all right.
I'm so used
This
to
is called making natural.
Yes.
This is natural.
This is what the network checker is all about.
Yes.
It's just them making you feel so relaxed that you get an opportunity to come on and just be your true self. No filters, no extra drama. Just having a good time with Lawrence and Nancy. So I'm really glad. I'm glad that you're making me feel so relaxed.
Good.
But what Sandra did was I was given the opportunity to take her to the airport. And she said, tell me one thing you need. I said, well, really, I need an agent. And I just, again, put it out there. Do you know that this woman got on the phone and contacted someone in Beverly Hills, California, and I'm not putting all of the information out with the names and everything. She contacted an agent. Within 30 days, that agent had me in Beverly Hills, California, dressed to the nine. I mean, I was dressed, had my Dolly Parton hairdo, spritzed. It's cut off now, but I was really ready. Had me introduced to 10 different networks. I'm talking about the owners of the networks. I was meeting with Bravo, different places that I officially met with. And I was presented by the end of that week that I was there with 4 contracts. I met with 10 different networks. 4 contracts were presented to me. I could only choose one. But it was an agent that came from Sandra Yancey with eWomen Network.
Again, for answering a question she asked.
Which is, what can I do to help you?
Yes.
So one of those things is that now is, based on the story you just told, it's not about wait for the opportunity or the right time. It's that just putting it out there is always the right time, regardless of what situation you're in, because you never know who you're talking to.
You never, Lawrence, I'm glad you said that, because you can assume that just because a person looks a certain way and they are a certain statue or caliber of person or whatever from the outer appearance, that's the person you need to definitely connect with and disregard other people.
Right.
But you don't know who knows who in life.
Exactly.
And so take the opportunity to be courteous and kind to every person you meet. It doesn't matter if they're a person on the street or if they're a person on Wall Street. Whatever. Nobody's better than anybody else at all. And I'm a big believer of that.
That is. And that's a great formula to remember. You always are sowing in kindness and goodness to other people without ulterior motives or intentions. Right. God, and we all know what we need, and He knows, and He's going to bring it to pass, but we are the ones that are going to be the ones that are taking action first.
That's right.
And extending that kindness.
And that's a gift that God has blessed you with. I don't know how far the show goes, but I mean, that's just a gift that you have. And I'm very grateful that our paths cross, because you have a great spirit.
Oh,
and that's a great compliment to have.
Yes.
Thank you.
So what we're going to do right now,
Okay.
we're going to go to a commercial break. But before then, Nancy has a question to ask you.
Kim, just thinking back on your journey, and it's been an amazing one so far, if you could just share with people something that you have gone through or experienced that you would never ever do again, and whether it was, collaborating with somebody, doing something, but just thinking back, what is that one thing that you would never do again?
Great question.
And we'll be right back to get that answer.
Yes, come back to hear what this lady has to say so you can learn from Kim.
Hello, I'm Kim Jacobs, and I want you to take a moment to go on a journey with me. Please tune in to the Kim Jacobs Show right on YouTube. Go on, subscribe, turn on your notifications, and share it with all of your friends and family. On the show, we literally talk about the person's backstory. How did they start to become the great person that they are today? People balance all different walks of life. They've been through so many trials and tribulations, but how did they ultimately make it through to be who they became? And sometimes we don't get the opportunity to know that unless you get the chance to tune in to the Kim Jacobs Show. So go to YouTube right now. What are you waiting for? Why are you still watching this? You should actually be on YouTube right now, hitting that subscribe. My son says smashing that like button and liking it, subscribing, and turning on your notifications for the Kim Jacobs Show. Thank you so much, and tune in for some wonderful guests. Like I have Wally Amos, the famous Amos guy. I also have people like, who else have I recently had? Oh, I've had Corinne Brown, the fresh expert. I've had the first African-American solely owned NASCAR owner to be able to own her own NASCAR company and team. Guess what? She's on the Kim Jacobs Show. Go tune in.
Welcome back to the network show. I'm your host, Lawrence Wingate.
And I'm your host, Nancy White, and we still have Kim Jacobs here with us.
And I almost said I'm your co-host. I'm not hosting anything right now. I'm actually a guest.
Just join me, Kim.
Forget me for a second.
That's fine. But anyways, before we left for our break, we'd asked Kim a question, and I'm sure every single one of you are on the edge of your seat to hear the answer. So Kim, looking back over your journey, what is one thing that you would suggest that someone never ever do?
I thought about that, and I've thought about it long and hard during the commercial break.
Yes.
And the one thing I would recommend that people never ever do is just don't be so quick to say no to every opportunity.
Okay.
Because for me, I can only bring it back home personally. There are opportunities that Les Brown, I use him as a specific example because he's my mentor. And there are opportunities where he would call me, Kim, I'm hopping a plane, going to Florida, and I need you to meet me out there. I got your ticket. I was like, I can't go to Florida right now. I have, a school field trip. I have this. I mean, I always, as a mom of 5, have something going on. But my son, who's now 22, one of them, he says, Mom, you know what? You've just missed so many opportunities because you're so quick to just say, No, I can't do that. I'm not going to do that. I'm not willing to do that because I'll miss this. He said, Mom, I'm 22. I can help.
Yeah.
My husband helps, and different, different people want to help. But to just say, no, I can't do that, and not even really think it all the way.
Consider it.
And I've missed some very valuable opportunities by just saying no.
Yeah.
So quickly.
As far as the opportunities that you miss, are there anything that you had just turned down because it just wasn't right for you or didn't sit right with you?
Oh, Lawrence. Now that takes me in a whole different direction. I've been given some interesting opportunities. If I can just bring a few into the forefront here. One, and I won't give the networks or anything like that because I'm not going to go that far, but one where I was given the chance to co-host and be on this live thing, and I was so excited. I mean, I'm saying I dressed to the tilt. I thought I was ready. I said, this is my chance to be able to co-host this wonderful show. But it's live, so I didn't know exactly what was going to happen each time. And one of the segments was me drinking some beer. I had to drink some beer on the network. And I was like, but I was told, okay, we're going to go into this kitchen segment. Get ready, here's your beer. We're going to have this leprechaun come on, and it's just green beer. And then
oh, wow.
I was like, I don't drink beer at home.
Much less green.
I'm not drinking beer, period. And it's not that I'm judging anybody that drinks beer. If I'm out and my friend or somebody drinking whatever they want, drink whatever you want to drink. I don't judge that one way or the other.
Correct.
But I don't drink beer for real at home. I'm a pastor's wife, and I don't drink beer. And so why in the world would I get on television
and portray that?
And then even to the point where it's like, it's just going to be water in the cup or whatever.
Then that's
why would I want to
false.
fake like I drink beer? I don't drink beer. Okay, so I'm not going to put myself in a position.
Right.
So in that kind of instance, I had to pull somebody. I was a lady. She was like, woo! In the audience. I said, "You come on, sweetie. You can come up here and you can co-host this." She probably got the job. Because she
was already drinking her beer.
Yeah, she was drinking her beer. But then can I tell you one other one?
Sure.
Yes.
Okay, so another instance is I had a situation where I was presented where all production would be paid for. Like six-figure, bulk six-figure income type of thing. And the only catch was the week that Oprah's show was going off the air and she was going to OWN Network, at Harpo Studios, I had to put my face on a billboard that was right in front of Harpo Studios. There's a billboard there. And I had to put my face saying, Kim, the next Oprah. I said, I'm not putting my face on anything saying I'm the next anybody.
And you're calling your attorney going, is this a lawsuit waiting to happen?
I'm not the next Oprah. I don't want to be the next Oprah. I want to be the best Kim.
Yes.
And that's plenty for me.
Yeah.
And so I turned that down. Now family and friends and people are like, you did what? You should have did that. So what? You would have got good PR and NPR news. I don't want NPR news that way.
Yeah. But when it ruffles your spirit and you know deep down inside that this is not what you should be doing, then I admire you so much for sticking to your integrity and to what you know is right for you, Kim. And that's fantastic because you had mentioned a few minutes ago about your family.
Yes.
And your family and your children and things. Everything that they're watching.
Yes.
Whether we know it or not. And when you're talking about Les was asking you to do something, and as a mom you're always doing for everybody else first and foremost, but with your family, I think it's amazing because you and your husband have both been amazing role models for them to see.
Thank you.
And I do know that you had gone through some tragedy in your family too, and getting through that, I think it's great for people to know that yes, they can see this beautiful woman that looks like she's all, put together and everything, and yet you have gone through some really hardships, and you have come out, and it has been a great testimony and a witness to other people.
Yeah.
So I have to let you know that.
Thank you so much. And speaking of my family, I've been married for 25 years. We have 5 amazing children. They're all entrepreneurial in spirit, and my one son, UNC Chapel Hill, ended up investing $100 in a business online. He teaches people about gaming, computers, and stuff. And within less than a year, flipped it and made 6 figures. So he was like, at that point, he was like, "Oh God, I know it all. You know, I'm good. I know.
Would you like
I
to
can
ask
teach the
me a
teachers."
question?
Yeah.
I know.
But he is very, very knowledgeable
Yes.
online, kind of like a Bill Gates kind of guy. Then, we have our 18-year-old son. He's amazing, getting ready to go to college and playing on a football scholarship, had 10 college offers. We have our son that's 14. He's an actor and appearing in a big stage play as his debut performance.
All right.
Our daughter, who is 11, a dancer, basketball. She loves basketball. And what people don't know about my family is that our 12-year-old son, Gabriel, on April 9th in 2015, they were just playing a family game of basketball, my husband and our sons, and just family time, important family time. But in the midst of that, he collapsed, and we had no clue that he even had this heart defect. And so I'll take you back for one more second if I can. On Wednesday night at Bible study, the night before, we had a topic about suicide, and the topic was discussing why people would ever kind of consider killing themselves. And I pastor's wife, I raised my hand. I said, "Listen, with great confidence, if anybody ever tells you that I killed myself, you better believe I didn't investigate it." And I was very matter of fact, But then, and I wasn't even being condescending or anything. I was just saying from my heart.
Yeah.
But I really believe that there's nothing that I could ever imagine that could cause me to kill myself,
Yeah.
But then the next day, on Thursday, April 9th, whenever that evening, my son was fighting for his life, and I was begging the doctors to take my heart. Because I said, if people can be a donor and they can donate organs, just take my heart and give it to my son so that he could live, that would be important to me. So at that day, though, I realized that, thank you, you have tissue ready. I realized that there are reasons.
Yeah.
There are reasons why people
would feel that way.
Would feel like, hey, I am going to do this. Even still to this day, I would not kill myself because I have my hope in Christ, and I know that He's not lost. He's in heaven. So I'm not concerned about that. But I do have more compassion as to why people would feel like why they're hopeless. Okay, I don't want to go too low on this show.
No, we won't get.
Let's go.
But
Let's change the topic, please.
But that's called reality,
Yes.
and that's one of the things that you and your family have all gone together, and it has pulled you closer together. It really has pulled you closer together.
Right.
And a great testimony. And I love the nonprofit. Oh my gosh, that you created for Gabe's Heart, and just and it's an amazing thing because he was such a young man that gave and did things and stood up for those that were being bullied.
Oh yeah, he was 5'10". Gabe was 5'10" at 12 years old, a giant wearing like a 13-grown man's shoe. And I found out after he passed that he was the anti-bullying mediator, and the children called him Guardian Gabe.
Wow.
So he would help mediate between those that were being bullied and those that were doing the bullying, and kind of merge their friendships. Yeah. So all of these kids would write, "Hi, I'm Kim Jacobs or Nancy or Lawrence, and I'm Gabe's best friend."
Oh.
Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of cards. So we started Gabe's Heart Foundation, and that's to keep his heart beating. It's like just keep beating.
Yeah.
Because he had a heart defect that we didn't know about, and it wasn't detected through physicals. So the only way you can detect this particular type of heart defect is through an ultrasound.
I got you.
And if a child can have an ultrasound done of their heart, just like we do when they put the gel on our stomach when we're pregnant, that can help to find the defect, and it can be surgically corrected immediately. And several people have had that happen since Gabe's death, based on my recommendation.
Oh, yes.
And their children have extended life as a result of it.
So Gabe's heart continues to beat.
His heart continues to beat.
And he continues to use his gifts and love through you.
And
So-
we started Gabe's Heart Foundation.
Yeah.
Please support Gabe's Heart Foundation in any way you can.
Yeah.
Gabe'sHeartFoundation.org and help us do random acts of kindness. We go all around the country and just say we're doing it Gabe's way. We're
Yeah.
doing it Gabe's way. And people are crying and
Yeah.
overjoyed, and it's a blessing.
And it is.
Wow.
So
Even until this day, he's still giving back.
yeah.
Oh, yes, yes.
Still giving back. So thinking about all the different things that you do too.
But I didn't
Because
say anything about my husband. Can I say one
oh,
thing
please
about my
talk about that
man?
Talk about your man.
My husband, no,
Yes,
he's
please.
25. We've been married for 25
Okay.
years, and I met my husband in college. So
Okay.
I was 18 years old when, since I'm on the show, I'll get to tell my version. He was chasing me around the college.
All right.
When he sees us, he's going to be like,
Your
Kim,
version.
you need to let me get on the show and tell my version. But we dated in college at James Madison University, and then ended up getting married, and he became a pastor. Well, he was in pharmaceuticals for 22 years. So he went on to become a vice president, and he had told me I will be a vice president by the time I am 40 years old. Literally 1 month before his 40th birthday. 1 month.
Isn't that something?
So you can speak things into existence in your life. He spoke that into his life.
Yeah.
And 1 month before his 41st birthday, he became vice president of a pharmaceutical company. And now pastor, and we've gone on in ministry together. He's been pastoring for literally this year to be 20 years that he would have been pastoring. So God has just done a great work through him and allowed us to go on a wonderful journey together.
That is one journey that I love to hear it in people's lives.
Yes.
That journey of working together. There's one thing having a support system in entrepreneurship, but to have a support system in family is even more important.
Very much so.
So
It has. It has brought you closer together, just like
Yes.
we were talking about. So, Kim, what's next for you? Because I know that you have such a heart for women and for moms, and that you have started something that is very special that really supports women that are mothers. Can you share with us a little bit about what that vision is and what you have?
Yes, I started what's called a Mother Dreamer movement.
Okay.
And the Mother Dreamer movement came because it personally came because of me, because I was like, you know what? After Gabe passed away, I decided that I won't let any other child of mine, I won't let any child of mine leave this earth without them seeing their mom live her fullest life, the best life that God created me to live.
Yeah.
And I have no regrets about Gabe. We traveled
Yeah.
the world, traveled the country, had a great life, and he saw a lot of things, and he's still witnessing from heaven. But I just don't want any of my children to pass away. Who even knew that children could pass away before their parents?
Right.
But I don't want another one to ever leave without saying, my mom lived a full life and she died empty, based on Les Brown's teaching.
Yes.
Live full, die empty. I don't take anything to the grave with me.
Yeah.
So I started a movement where mothers will look back and we say, we're raising all-star children. I have super dynamic children. You have super dynamic family. It's super dynamic child, right? You have a child. Children. How many children do you have?
I've got 2.
I'm going to host
Well, I've
you
got
now.
3.
3, okay. I'm going to interview you. How many children do you have, Nancy?
How many children? Right. I have a stepson and 2 children. We have a blended family.
Okay. So anyway, the point is, we've raised, or either
Yes.
are raising, because I have a 20 adult, and I know you have
I'm
adult
minor
too
adults,
as well.
yeah.
But the thing is, to have our dreams and our goals on the back burner, waiting for our children to grow up, leave the home, then start saying, okay, now it's my time to go for my goals and dreams, I think it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous, to say the least. Whenever by the time my children are fully all grown, I have an 11-year-old, I'll be like 56 years old. I'll be too old to start trying to pursue the television thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So I am really passionate about helping mothers, and even some women have joined the Mother Dreamer movement that are not even mothers. They just said, we don't care, we want to be a part of this movement. That pick their goals and their dreams up. They dust them off the shelf and they say, I am going to be a great mom, and I'm going to see my dreams become a reality. So there's a network of women that are mothers that all join forces. We join arms, we link together, find out what your gifts and talents are. How can I help you? What your gifts and talents are? How can you share that with the group so we can support each other on our journey? and help our dreams become a reality. So that's called the Mother Dreamer Movement, and it's motherdreamer.com, and most people join it by /join, motherdreamer.com.
That's awesome. Oh,
Well, we appreciate you coming on our show.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We're looking forward to doing great things with you and watching you succeed as you have been doing all these years.
Can I say one more story real quick?
Yes, you can.
Only because you'll appreciate this. One of the deacons in our church, he said that he has vitiligo, and he would always keep his hands in his pocket, and he said he never ever would take his hands out of his pocket unless it was just for a moment to shake somebody's hand and put it back, real briefly. And Gabe, my son, this is how he made everybody feel like they were so super special. One day he saw his hands and he said, "Oh my gosh, your hands are so incredibly cool." And he was like, "You are just an amazing man." And he went on to tell him all of this stuff about his hands. He said since that day, since Gabe interacted with him, he puts his hands out freely. And he shares them with the world because Gabe, my son, our son, made him feel like a giant.
yes.
And so I thought you would really, appreciate
And
that.
that's what about with vitiligo is that, I never hid my skin condition. I feel it's who I am. And, it allows other people to be more comfortable as well.
Right.
As long as I'm comfortable myself, they're comfortable.
Yes.
Well, you make everybody. I mean, I've only gotten to know you just as a guest on your show today, and I can tell you the two of you together are going to be unstoppable.
Oh, well, thank you, Kim. So before we leave, though, Kim, how can people get back in touch with you? What's the easiest way for people to connect with you?
People can do two things. They can email me. Am I allowed to give my email
Oh,
address?
yes.
It's Kim@thebalancedoctor, and doctor is spelled out, .tv.
Okay.
So Kim@thebalancedoctor.tv, as in like television, but TV. Or people can also call at 704-944-3534 and ask for Kim Jacobs, the Balance Doctor.
That is
All
awesome.
right.
Well, we look forward to the next exciting time with you, Kim.
Thank
This is
you.
not the end. This is the
no.
beginning.
This is definitely the beginning.
Beginning.
Okay, high five.
All right.
Thank you.
Well, this concludes the episode with Kim Jackson. Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, no, believe it or not, guess what? That's my maiden
Your
name.
maiden name?
Yes, I was Action Jackson back in the day. I was
Jackson.
senior class president as Action Jackson.
See, even host a network show, you still have problems. But you
Yeah.
know what? We keep it moving.
Can people subscribe to my YouTube channel?
They
Yes.
surely
Put
can.
it up.
Please go to the Kim Jacobs Show. And right now, that's what I'm doing. That's my big project too, that I'm actually going back and getting new footage so that I can present it to a network.
Okay.
And so all of my shows that I'm getting the new footage for it are housed on my YouTube channel,
Okay.
The Kim Jacobs Show. And so please subscribe.
Make sure you subscribe to Kim Jacobs. Okay?
Thank you.
So, well, we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Most important thing in business is honesty. Integrity, hard work. Family. Never forgetting where we came from. So you are what you are in this world. That's either one or two things. Either you're somebody or you're nobody. Most important thing in business is honesty. Family. Never forgetting where we came from. So you are what you are in this world.